After a nearly month-long stalemate, the full Minnesota House convened again for the first time on Thursday. Shannon Slatton sat down with Representative Samantha Vang of Brooklyn Center to talk more about it for this week's Newsmakers.
Well, we're all very eager to return to the House floor. It's been quite a long couple of weeks for everyone, but we've all been very busy. I myself just had a tour at the Como Zoo. I have been privileged to co-chair Legacy Committee, and that's a committee where many of our zoos, for example, the Como Zoo, do get some funding from. And so I've fed a giraffe this morning, which is fun.
That is fun.
And I get to do fun things like meeting with constituents and talking with stakeholders on what are their funding requests for this year and what we can do to really look at how can we continue to serve Minnesotans. Because it is a budget year this year. So we're really excited to get down to the nitty-gritty of what does our state budget looks like.
All right, it's going to be a job. So what have you been up to in the past few weeks? Have you been meeting with people? What have you heard your constituents say?
Yes, definitely. So a lot meeting with constituents, having coffee with residents, neighbors, meeting with I think stakeholders around the area.
Sure.
And then one time I had a tour recently at the North Memorial Hospital, talking about what their infrastructure needs are, and then just meeting. And honestly, I've learned that this is usually around the time where we as a committee, as members, do a lot of informational hearings, and it's actually a lot more fun and a lot more hands-on to be able to be in district and talk directly to stakeholders and actually see kind of the programs they're running, the people that they serve. And so I think this is a better option than actually staying in committee and having presentations slide after slide. So it's been quite a good couple of weeks for us.
All right, always good to get out and about for sure.
Yes.
And you're excited about sharing Legacy.
Yes.
So for folks who are not familiar with what that is, how do you describe it?
Yeah, so Legacy, Minnesota is very fortunate to have what's called a Legacy Amendment, in which it was on the ballot where Minnesotans voted to have a portion of the sales tax have dedicated funding to fund things like parks and trails, outdoors heritage, and a really fun bucket is the arts and culture here in Minnesota. So many of these funding goes towards things like the Minnesota Historical Society or the Minnesota Zoo or Como Zoos or many of our public radio stations, for example. So many, I have the privilege to be able to see a lot of the fun things that we get to fund, and it's a pretty fun committee. It's not like the other committees like bonding where they talk about wastewater treatment and whatnot. Those tend to be more boring, but in Legacy we talk about a lot of fun stuff. So very excited.
And a lot of need out there, so some tough decisions ahead for you.
Yes.
All right, well, Representative Samantha Vang, Brooklyn Center, thank you very much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.